Good morning, Valley Middle School of STEM. I'm Dan Dudley from the STEM team here with Dr. Michelle Carruthers, our resident expert, here to take us through the collaborative design process. Dr. Carruthers?
Well, it's a super exciting time to be part of a STEM school, especially at Valley Middle. We have created something that is called a collaborative design process. I know you're going to be as excited about it as we are. It's something that you can use in any part of your day as long as you're problem solving. Super exciting, Mr. Dudley.
Great. Now, this is the entire process at a glance. Take me through a little bit of it. Where do we start?
See if you can follow me on this one. We're going to find the word start at the top. There it is. We're going to start just as I said, where it says start, and we'll move in a clockwise motion, following each of the bold words that will carry us through our design process.
Terrific. The first step is the challenge. Tell me about it.
We call it a challenge, first of all, because sometimes you're asked a question, but sometimes you are just challenged with an activity. You need to show some knowledge. So it is a challenge. The first bullet says define challenge. So you need to make sure you really understand what is being asked of you and what your product or your end result will look like. The next bullet says how have others approached it. So here you're going to think about some research. Do I have an older brother or sister I could ask about this? Is there somewhere I could research? Are there astronauts who've done exactly what I'm doing? And finally, what are the constraints? What is limiting about this process?
I'm still a little bit fuzzy, but I think it would be better if I looked at an example. So,
Let's do it.
if we're going to build a note card bridge, I understand I need to build a freestanding bridge using just these materials, and it's got to go 4 inches. I get that part. How does the constraint piece work into that? What does that mean?
Constraints are things that are limiting. So since your teacher has only given you note cards and tape to build with, there is no option for composite materials. Mr. Dudley, can I use some composite materials to support my bridge? No, it's a constraint. You cannot. You are only given those 2 or 3 materials.
Tell me about the next step. This is the imagine step, correct?
Correct. So here you're going to be thinking about how could I possibly solve this? You're going to be brainstorming, which is just a raining effect of ideas. It's raining ideas. Now, you're not going to discount any ideas, no matter how wacky they might seem. You might look at an idea and think to yourself, this seems like an idea that Mr. Rosine might do. Maybe I should skip it. But wait, keep it there, because once you get through the process, you might realize that this Mr. Rosine-like idea might work just perfectly if you pare it down a little bit.
So what you're saying is that I should imagine more solutions. I wonder if you can create a sketch or drawing for the brotherhood of man.
Well, I wouldn't quit your day job, but yes, that's pretty much what I'm saying.
Okay, so the next step is design. What kinds of things do I need to do for the design stage?
Here you're going to be first choosing the best idea, which might be a combination of some ideas. Like I mentioned before, you might have some way out there ideas, but once you get to the design step, that's when you're thinking, this will work, that won't work. You might be able to combine some ideas, possibly of your own, possibly with somebody else. And then you're going to create a representation, a plan, a diagram, an outline, or a sketch. Somehow you're going to show this is what's going to happen.
No way! Those are all my favorite things to do every day! Okay, back to the real thing. So, for our group plan, we designed this bridge. We're going to use note card cylinders for support. We've got some taped together note cards for the deck, and we're going to take and fold some note cards into triangular prisms and tape them onto the top to strengthen it. So,
Yes.
Are we ready to roll?
Just about. I want to point out that you did a lovely job with making notes, because even though Mrs. Simmons would be super excited about your artistic work here, in case somebody's not as artistically gifted as you are, you've labeled things such as the cylinders, so somebody could identify, oh, it looks like it's supposed to be a rectangle, but really it should be a cylinder. So it's easy to understand what you're thinking there.
Well, thank you, Michelle. All right. Are we ready to do something yet? Are we ready to build and create?
We are.
Okay, taking me
Let's do
through
it. Okay, you're going to create it. which sounds really straightforward. But it is if you're making a product, you're going to actually build it, put your pieces together. But sometimes you're doing a process or making a game or something that you don't have a product in the end. And so for that step, you'll be getting ready for the plan. It might be placing people where they need to be, getting your supplies prepped for the activity, anything that you need to be ready to go forward with that plan.
All right. So in the case of our note card bridge, gather our materials, get set, and produce a product.
That's correct, Mr. Dudley.
All right. I think we're ready to move on. Do we get to try it out now?
Yeah, follow me with this one. It's difficult like the start. Try it out means test.
I'm not very good at tests.
You're going to actually put your plan into action. So whether it's a system and you're trying to work through it, or it's a product and you want to see how it works, you're actually going to run it so that then the next two bullets say gather feedback and collect data. You will be able to move forward and eventually reflect. But during this testing, you'll see how it goes.
All right, so here's where we're at with our example.
Well,
We've
looks
got it
nice.
built.
Wah, wah.
That didn't work out the way we had it planned. So now what? Back to the drawing boards?
Exactly. This process is something that is called cyclical. It cycles through. So just because we made one, whether it works or not, it doesn't matter. As people who are trying to solve a problem, we should always go back to the beginning. So first, we're going to stop and evaluate. Our general questions are, what works, what could be improved, and modify your design, which means change your design as you can.
Well, the cylinders didn't appear to have given too much support, but the bridge seemed to give in first on the top when we set the brick on top, or set the book on top of those triangular prisms. So I'm wondering if we can change the design just a little bit and make it work.
I agree. I think that's maybe a weakness, a weak point that we could strengthen.
Okay. So then we go back to the imagine step, correct?
Correct. Again, we're going to be thinking about how could we possibly change this? And we might have a lot of similar ideas. We might have some very different ideas that we want to incorporate.
Okay. So we're back to looking at some of our original drawings and trying to figure out how that would work. Moving on to the design, we come up with a new plan then, correct? We choose or redesign, combine a number of other elements, correct?
Exactly. We still want to make some sort of a representation to show what we're doing. But yes, it's going to be slightly different at least.
Okay, so this is what we came up with. We're going to try just inverting the bridge deck and have those rigid supports, those triangular prisms on the bottom so that when the book comes down, it's sitting on something flat and the cylinders can hold the weight of the book a little more easily.
Right.
Okay, so we're back to the creating step and we got this much. We rebuilt it and it looks like this. I kind of lost track of us. So we're at design, we're at the creating step here. Now what do we do?
We're going to test it out.
All right,
Let's see if it works.
so let's get ready. And wow, definitely a game winner. Now what do we do?
Well, now you have a couple options. Even though it worked, it's really a good idea to go back and think about how could I make this better? How could I strengthen it even more? What if I had 2 math books? Where could I really beef it up? Where might be a weak point that I could still make stronger?
Great. And at this point in time, are we ready to publish or share it yet or not?
If we're finished going back and making changes, yes, this is the point at which we have the option to share with a class, share with others, publish online. We can do any of those things.
Is the process ever really complete? I could come back at a later date, right?
Absolutely. Think of how long chairs have been around. Are these the chairs that people sat on 200 years ago?
Good
Surely
point.
not.
All right. So let me see if I can put this all together. For the design process, I start up here with challenge. I move to the imagine step, down to design, I create, I try it out, I evaluate it, and if everything works well, I go back to the share and publish that. If not, I go back to the challenge and I can repeat the cycle again, correct?
Right. Even sometimes if it works the first time, you still want to go back to how can I make this better? Because even though we have a good product, it's not always our best product.
Well, thank you for taking that through us. At this point in time, we're going to take a short commercial break to allow our sponsors some airtime. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Carruthers.
Peace.
Hey, Valley Middle School of STEM, welcome back. We're ready for our STEM's Day Challenge. Once again, I'm joined with Dr. Michelle Carruthers, who's going to tell us about the challenge we are all going to be undertaking today.
Thanks, Dan.
Ouch.
Today, I'm just going to follow along with what you see on the screen. You are part of a quality control for Chips Ahoy Cookies. Your job is to extract and count how many chocolate chips there are in a cookie. Each pair of students will have three toothpicks they may use to assist them in this process. You will earn $10 for each whole chip you extract and $2 for each partial chip you extract.
All right, so thinking back about our challenge step in the process, what are we looking for here as we work through this?
Well, we're going to be trying to figure out what exactly is this challenge asking us to do. So what can I do? What can't I do? So again, constraints, what are my limitations? And then how have others approached it? Can I think of anything else that I've done that's similar? Do I have a brother or sister who's had to do anything like this in the past that I can maybe think about how they did it?
All right, well, let's give them some time, and what do we say, 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
All right.
Discuss the challenge.
With your partner, please discuss it. Here we go. About 10 seconds, kids. All right. Well, we're moving on to the next step of the design process, the imagine state. Any comments, Michelle?
This is the step, again, where you have just a barrage of ideas. No idea is a bad idea.
All right. Well, let's get you brainstorming here. We're going to give you 3 minutes this time, and we're going to step out and grab a quick donut and a cup of coffee. with some seriously good Java.
Yeah, recharged.
Are you recharged because you're working with me, or?
For sure.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we wrapped up that imagine stage, and now we're going to move on to the design portion of this. Here we're going to be picking the best idea, right?
Correct. And let's keep in mind that it doesn't have to be one idea. You don't have to choose one person's idea. You can combine ideas. You're going to be sorting through and thinking about what's going to work with this. Maybe thinking about those crazy ideas and how could you make them work, and getting rid of the craziest things that don't fit in with your constraints.
But we're not starting yet because this is just a plan, a process. We're trying to develop a process here, correct?
Correct. Dan, you want to make a representation here. So a diagram, a sketch, an outline, a few bullets on what your plan is, anything of that nature so that you can have some sort of a representation on what you want to happen.
All right, teams, 3 minutes. Let's go. What do you say we grab a bite to eat this time?
I'm starving.
I like it. Oh, that Mrs. Buckwell sure knows how to cook.
Yeah, she knows. She makes the best chili.
Ever. Just about lost a finger there when Mr. McKeag went for seconds.
Look out.
5 seconds, kids. Are we on? Dude, I think we're moving on to the next stage. We're going to be doing some serious, creating for this one, right?
Totally.
Nice. What are we looking for here, Michelle? Surf's up?
Well, here we're getting ready for our plans. So you're going to set up all your materials and decide where you and your partner need to be, and what you're doing with any tools you have.
Cool. Well, we're going to put a minute on the old California stop clock here and let you get at it.
Go ahead and create.
Call me Grandpa. At least I don't snort.
It's cool. It's fine.
Hey,
Time.
we're back and ready to start the next and my favorite stage, the try it out stage. What are we going to do here?
It's a tricky one. You're going to try it out.
Great. You have 2 minutes to see how many of those chips that you can extract using the plan or process that you've put together with your partner, correct?
Correct. Sounds good.
All right, let's give you just a second to get ready here before we start it. Ready? Set. Extract. What do you say we extract?
Let's make it like a tree and leave.
All right. Okay, teams, about 16 seconds left. Push it. Terrific. Nice work. What are we going to be looking at in this next stage, Michelle?
We are going to be evaluating. So we're looking critically at our process, which means we also need to look at some of the data that we collected, which would be the chips. Beware, don't let Mr. McKeck get any of your chocolate. He's dangerous.
It's an obsession. So, looking back, it's $10 for each whole chip and $2 for each partial, no matter how big it is, correct?
Correct. And
All
we
right.
also want to be thinking about how could I do this better? Even if we had lots of whole chips, you want to be thinking about could I get more whole chips? Is there a way that we could get around this so that we don't have any of those piddly $2 payments? And if you failed, this is such an opportunity to learn from the failure. You can really try to look at your process and figure out where you can make it stronger.
Learn while you earn. All right, 2 minutes, folks. Let's see how you do. I need to step out for a minute. Just a minute there. Yes. I had to see somebody about something.
All right.
7 seconds.
You know that's not normal, right?
What, I'm not normal? I think we all established that by this point in the video. All right, we're moving on to the challenge stage. What are we going back to the challenge for? I lost track of this. What's going on?
We got to make sure that we're really on track with what we're asked to do. Sometimes when we have good ideas, we can get away from what the actual challenge was asking us to do, or we can forget about our constraints. So it's always good to go back once you have evaluated, go back to the challenge and make sure that you really understand what the challenge is. And now you may have seen for some research what some others were doing around you. You don't want to hijack ideas, but you may be able to develop them into some of your own.
Okay, let's take a minute and go back and examine the challenge. Okay, I think I'm getting it. We're back at the challenge stage, so we can move on to the imagine stage next, correct?
Correctamundo.
All right, what are we going to do?
Again, we're going to be brainstorming some possibilities. So you want to think about, how could I do this differently? How could I tweak it? How could I overhaul it?
All right, 2 minutes. Brainstorm away. Let it rain. I think I had better rain.
Tanner, please stop in the main office. Amy Tanner to the main office.
Amy Tanner, please cancel that.
That was funny.
Delayed laughter. About 30 seconds left, kids. All right, we're into the design stage here. So we're going to choose the best ideas for the second time, correct?
The best, sparkliest, brightest idea that you have or that you can come up with.
All right. Do we have to make a new sketch? Can we adapt the old one? What do you think?
I think you can do either. It's always important to keep track of your changes, but if you need to overhaul, you can always make a new sketch, or if that's just your personality and that's how you like to organize, start fresh.
All right, 2 minutes. Should we step out and do a quick makeup check?
Yeah, I'm feeling shiny.
Oh, thanks. They can do wonders with hair now, these makeup artists.
Amazing. So luscious.
I'm amazing? Oh, thank you.
Sure, that's what I said.
All right, folks. We're back to the create stage. Here we're going to basically get ready for the plan again, right?
Yes, we are, Justin.
All right, thanks.
Set it up.
She likes the hair. All right, you have a 1 minute here to prepare for the test stage. I think you dropped the toothpick there. You want to make sure to pick that up there. You in the red shirt.
Good catch. It's normal.
Not really. All right, 5 seconds, folks. Thank you. Another successful stage design process done. Moving on to the try it out stage. Once again, have I said it before that this is my favorite?
Yeah, because it's really complicated, right?
Yeah, that's right. All right, now's your chance to test it out. See if you can extract more chips this time with your new plan. You ready? All right, you guys get your tools ready. I'll get the clock ready. You want to give the countdown on this?
Sure. 3, 2, 1, go!
So you really like the hair, huh?
I do. It came in a really interesting color, but I think it's you.
Yeah.
Is it like a chia pet thing? Like, did you have to smooth it on and water it?
That hurts.
Just asking.
It's worse than Grandpa comment. That one cut to the bone.
What are you gonna do? Fire me?
I got almost $9 into this wig.
Well, I couldn't tell it was a wig. I thought you grew it.
Yeah, with water and fertilizer.
You never know.
One minute teams.
I could cut some of mine off and we could glue it on.
You are a true friend.
Am I not?
About 20 seconds. Hey, put that crumb down.
No eating the materials.
All right, congratulations, you've completed your second test stage. All right, time to take a couple of minutes to evaluate the process, right? Did it work better
Absolutely.
this time? Is it possible that it could have been worse?
Definitely. It's definitely possible. It could go either way when you're trying something new and different. You just don't know how it will go.
Unless it's hair and me, because then it's always a hit.
Always.
2 minutes, teams. Evaluate. Where's Waldo? Don't doze off, Grandma.
I know. It's
Got
like
a
I'm
minute
growing a
left?
human or something. I'm so tired. Those parasites can be nasty.
I see dead people. 15 seconds of evaluating time. Come on.
Come on.
We should take this show on the road.
It's
What do you
a
think?
celebration.
For sure.
All right. Finally, we've worked through the process a couple of times. We're running out of time here. I know we can always continue to improve it, but at this point in time, we could be at the share stage, correct?
Absolutely, Mr. Bieber. So here's the point at which you are going to choose another twosome to share your results with and share the process with.
All right. 1 minute to share with others in your group before we wrap this show up. So I think we'll land a big contract after this or no?
Probably.
I'm thinking shaving cream commercials for me and stuff.
Yeah. I think that'll be a good route.
You're just saying that to patronize.
No, you've got so much luscious hair. You'll be good for those commercials.
What do you think, like diaper commercials for you or something like that?
Probably be a good idea, yeah. I could put stock into the companies too.
Sales are going to be up probably, right?
I think so, yeah.
About when would you expect that peak?
Start around May 23rd. I don't know, peak sometime over the summer probably, if they're fed correctly.
5 seconds to share. I think we were done sharing, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. I feel good about it.
All right, folks. Thank you very much for helping us today, and I hope you've had a good time working through the engineering collaborative design process with Dr. Crothers and I. Any final comments, Michelle?
Peace out.
All right. Take a minute here to clean up. Sweep your crumbs up into the paper towel. Each pair has each couple of pairs have to share a paper towel because there is a paper crisis on. Please throw your paper towels, toothpicks in the garbage cans. Teachers, if we can get those stem basins back, That's all we're really going to need. So please give that to your designated team member, and may the force be with you. 1 minute. Let's get out of here. We're done. All right. I guess I'm gonna have to end the show by myself because my partner's abandoned me. Oh, there she is. Thank you. Have a good day.
Carruthers out.
Dudley, done.